Hello everyone. Week 7 essay structure. So we're going to look at the 5-paragraph essay, and we're just going to have a little look at the structure of the essay. And throughout this presentation, for the example, I'm going to use the topic how to stay healthy. That is just the example topic for this video presentation. Obviously, later in the semester, you are going to do your own research paper using the 5-paragraph essay structure, and your topic will be different to this one. Okay, here we go. So first of all, what is the 5-paragraph essay? It's quite simple. You have an introduction in your first paragraph. Your next 3 paragraphs are what we call the body. Body 1, body 2, body 3. And then you finish with a conclusion. And those are what make up your 5-paragraph essay. Okay, so the outline. The introduction has 3 parts. And I'm taking this from the example from our Unlock textbook. So we have a hook, we have a background information, and we have a thesis statement. The body paragraphs, body 1, body 2, body 3, they all have the same content. They have a topic sentence, which presents the writer's supporting argument. And then there are supporting details, and that is going to be some evidence to support the argument. The conclusion will restate the thesis statement, summarize the body, and then we will have a final closing comment. Okay, so this is the outline for the 5-paragraph essay. When we are in the classroom, I ask the students to take a photo of this page. That's why we got the camera there. I don't suppose you guys need to do that because you have this file on your computer. Okay, so we're going to now go through each one in more detail, and I'm also going to show you an example that will help you to prepare for your own writing later. Okay, so paragraph 1 is the introduction. In your book on page 142 there is some notes and advice about how to make an introduction. You start with what we call a hook. Now, the point of a hook is to get the reader or the listeners interested in your topic so that they will want to keep reading or listening. So the listener is for a presentation, the reader is for an essay. Now, some examples of hooks are interesting questions. Now, the question hook is probably the most common hook because it's very easy to do. You start with an interesting question. But there are other hooks. You could have a surprising fact or a statistic. You could have a request to the reader to imagine a situation. You could have a definition of a word. Or you could start with something that someone else said. You could quote a famous person, or even from a book or an article or a magazine, or from the news. So these are all examples of hooks, and you just have to choose the one that you want to use in your writing. After the hook, you're going to give us some background information. And this helps the reader to understand the essay. Background information can include an explanation of words and phrases, historical information, data, statistics, or a general explanation of the topic. And finally, you have the thesis statement. It's usually the last sentence of the introduction. And this tells the reader how the essay will be developed. Often a thesis statement has 2 parts, a topic and a point of view. So those are your 3 parts that you need to include in a good introduction. And let's have a look at how they work in an example. Okay, so here's the example, and I've separated the 3 parts by colour. So black is the hook, blue is the background information, red is the thesis statement. Okay, so let me just read this. Do you struggle with ways to stay healthy? Do you worry about your heart condition and your quality of life? Okay, so that is the question form of a hook. Next is the background information. According to healthknowledge.org.uk, each year CVD, which is the acronym for cardiovascular disease, which is disease of the heart, causes 17 million deaths worldwide. In developed countries, heart disease and stroke are the first and second leading cause of death among adult men and women. One of the most important things in life is to be healthy, and it is also a good way to find happiness. Okay, so there is some background information about the topic. From this section, we can see that this is going to be about health. And then here's the thesis statement. In my opinion, people need to maintain daily healthy habits so that they feel good both mentally and physically. This can be done through regular exercise, eating healthy, and not smoking or drinking alcohol excessively. Okay, so the thesis statement there, you have the topic, which is to maintain daily healthy habits. And then you also have my point of view, which is those 3 ways to stay healthy, which is the exercise, eating healthy, and not smoking or drinking. Okay, so there you go. That's an introduction example. Now let's move on to a body. Paragraphs 2, 3, and 4 are what we call the body. In your book on page 162, they give you some information, but everything depends on the type of essay that you are writing. There are many, many different types of essays. One of them might be what we call an argumentative essay, where you are trying to argue your point of view. There could be comparison essays, where you are comparing A and B. And there can also be more objective essays, where you are not actually trying to give your opinion, but you are just trying to present 2, 3, or 4 different sides of an argument. So it really does depend on what you are trying to write, and later, when we start writing your essays, I will tell you what kind of essay you are writing, and I will give you some guidance. But in this example, it is an opinion essay. It is trying to share your opinion. That's similar to the argumentative essay. And so we're going to have a topic sentence, introduce the topic of the paragraph, and then you have your supporting reasons. And we've already studied different language about how to give reasons. You can use facts, evidence, personal stories, statistics, etc. to help make your point. And let's have a look at an example. Firstly, regular exercise is important for good health. There are many different forms of exercise one can do. For example, you can go to the gym and lift weights, or run on the treadmill to work on your cardio fitness. Some people like to swim. In my case, I enjoy playing football every week. It helps to keep fit, and it also improves social bonding with teammates. According to NHS's Inform webpage, the National Health Service of the UK, the combination of running, walking, sprinting, and kicking can bring benefits including increased stamina, improved cardiovascular health, reduced body fat, improved muscle strength and tone, increased bone strength, and improved coordination. And there is the reference to that webpage where I got that information. Later, we're going to talk about how you can reference other writers, which we already did study about a little bit. If you exercise even a little bit every day, you will keep good health. Okay, so there you go. That's an example of a body paragraph. The topic sentence is at the beginning. I've introduced that it's going to be about exercise. And then I've supported it with some personal experience, personal story. And I've also used evidence from a National Health Service website. Paragraph 5 is going to be the conclusion. You summarize your body, you restate your thesis statement, and you have a final closing comment. This is your final message to the reader or the listener if it is a presentation. It can be your opinion, a prediction about the future, a recommendation, a call to action, or a combination of these. This is also in your book. You can find the conclusion section in the final unit. There should not be any new information or evidence introduced in the conclusion. No new information or evidence, okay? This is more like a review. Okay, let's have a look at an example. So, to conclude, these days, more than ever, it's incredibly important to defend against cardiovascular diseases. There are many ways to stay healthy. 3 good ways are to exercise every day, eat well, and not to smoke or drink alcohol excessively. It is important to maintain your health over a long time because it is very easy to destroy it. But then, it is very hard and sometimes even impossible to rebuild it. Put down that cigarette, reject that extra beer, and instead make yourself feel better, both physically and mentally, with a new healthy life approach. Okay, so you can see there that there is a summary of the body, which is the review of the exercise every day, eat well, and don't smoke or drink alcohol. Restating the thesis, which is there are many ways to stay healthy. And then the final closing comment, I've actually used 2. The first one is a sort of a message, a memorable recommendation, and the other one is a call to action. So the first part is it's important to maintain your health because it's easy to destroy it, but then it's hard to rebuild it. But then the second part is a call to action. It's a recommendation. It's a sort of request of the reader. Put down that cigarette, reject that extra beer, and instead make yourself feel better with a new healthy life approach. Okay, so you should use one or a combination of those final closing comments in your conclusion. Leave the reader with something to think about so that your writing stays in their mind. Okay, so one more time, the outline. Try to be familiar with this and try to follow it as we go through our writing process.